Now I want to talk about the widening gap in achievement, and I want to talk about it on a global level, talking about boys and girls. So this article comes from UNESCO, and this article is titled "What You Need to Know About UNESCO's Global Report on Boys' Disengagement from Education." A lot of times people do not understand that many of these global issues are affecting us in similar ways. And a lot of it has to do with the fact that we live in a global patriarchy where men are imposing their views and masculinity being high on the priority list. Masculinity, men being in control, and all of that, and is impacting everybody pretty much the same way, just in varying amounts. So let's talk about this. Girls have more difficulty accessing education and are more likely than boys to be out of school, particularly at primary level. But as education progresses, it becomes a boys' problem. On the occasion of its new global report on boys' disengagement from education, UNESCO is helping you get answers to some important questions on education and gender equality. So, how are boys faring in education? Globally, 132 million boys are out of school. That's more than half of the global out of school youth population and more than the 127 million girls who are also out of school. Also, keep in mind, girls and women are barred from education in some countries. So, the fact that there are still more boys out of school is very telling. This global report shows that boys are increasingly left behind in education. They are at a greater risk of repeating grades, failing to progress and complete their education, and not learning while they're in school. While previously boys' disengagement and dropouts were concerns mainly in high income countries, several low and middle income countries have seen a reversal in gender roles, with boys now lagging behind the girls in enrollment and with completion and learning outcomes. So, roles are reversed. Boys are not doing that good right now. Boys are more likely than girls to repeat primary grades in 130 countries and more likely to not have an upper secondary education in 73 countries. At tertiary level, globally, only 88 men are enrolled for every 100 men. What drives disengagement? Poverty and the need to work are among the most important drivers of boys' dropouts. For example, in the Philippines, 75% of all boys enrolled in lower secondary school complete a full cycle of education. But this falls to 40% of boys from the poorest household. Poor boys are worse off than poor girls in some countries. For example, in Bangladesh, 82 of the poorest boys completed primary education for every 100 of the poorest girls. Gendered norms and expectations impact on boys' motivation and desire to learn. In many contexts, school activities and certain subjects are considered at odds with the expression of masculinity, making education unpopular with boys. So, this is a global piece that I was talking about earlier. Practice such as streaming of classes and gender segregation contribute to boys' low motivation, underachievement, and disengagement from education. Harsh discipline, corporal punishment, and other forms of school related gender based violence also impact negatively on boys' academic achievement and attainment. Recognize that a lot of times we as women want to pull our girls because we recognize that boys can be disruptive to the girls' education. But this impacts the boys because they have low motivation. And I don't know how to fix that piece of it. I want the girls to have the best types of education possible. But when the boys are disruptive, when they don't value education, it impacts everybody in the classroom, from the teachers on down to each of the students. So I don't really know how to fix that. Also, towards the bottom, boys are more likely than girls to experience physical bullying and often are targeted because of their real or perceived sexual orientation or gender identity and expression. Recognize that this is a phenomenon brought on by other boys, typically. So there is something that needs to be fixed within them that is impacting everybody's education. What does this mean for girls? Improving educational opportunities for girls continues to be of paramount importance if gender equality in and through education is to be achieved. There are still too many girls out of school globally. Girls in many countries continue to face challenges in accessing quality education, and they also have to contend with inequality, discrimination, and exploitation as they transition into the world of work and adult life, even when they perform better than their male peers at school. So women and girls globally are discriminated against. It impacts their whole lives, but boys get opportunities, they squander it, and they jack up the education for everybody. Supporting boys does not mean that girls lose out and vice versa. On the contrary, equal education opportunities benefit both girls and boys. Why does it? Education is a human right for everyone. Moreover, education has a positive impact on economic growth and salaries, but the cost of boys not completing basic education can be very high, with the impacts on future job prospects, salaries, and work satisfaction, as well as choices and behaviors in turn affecting boys and men's health when they become citizens and start to engage in the global economy. This part. Educated men are found more likely to treat women and men equally and support gender equality. Boys who have secondary education are more likely to condemn gender-based violence. Addressing boys' disengagement from and disadvantage in education could be transformative in promoting gender equality, reducing violence, and protecting the futures for all. Okay. I don't really know what to do about all of this. Like I said, I'm just bringing you the information. But this says, what can we do about it? Targeted action to improve educational opportunities for boys not only benefits boys' learning, employment opportunities, income, and well-being, but is also highly beneficial for achieving gender equality and desirable economic and social and health outcomes. I don't know how to turn this around because many of these implications are at a societal level, is at a governmental level, is at policy level where we need to be targeting masculinity, these traditional roles, these boxes that say men are supposed to be in charge of everything, because that is going down to the foundational level where boys are not learning, they're not treating their teachers with respect, and it doesn't really matter what country it's in. This is how they're acting. And I want girls and women to have better outcomes as far as education, but we have to fix this issue behind the boys and what's going on with them before everybody else will be able to benefit from this. You guys go ahead, jump in the comments, let me know what you think. Have you seen this where you live? And like, comment, and share. And if you are enjoying the commentary in my videos, go ahead and give me a follow because I do appreciate that. Also, tell me what you are seeing in your countries. Are you seeing these same outcomes with the boys and the girls as well?